Hey kids, you trying to get into Segment City? Well, you really shouldn't, because Segment City is a mature podcast, and listener discretion is advised. I'm just trying to look at... I know I'm in an alleyway. I know how I look, but I got some fireworks for you kids. I got snakes and I got sparklers. That's all I got. Oh, don't give me that.
Yo, let me get my thing. Let me get the bit that I wanted to do. I got it.
you bum! You didn't get it. You had it before.
It's a sword.
It's
a sword. I got a sword.
You're gonna hurt yourself. You're gonna poke your eye out.
It's not sharp. It's not sharp. I'm only showing like
the pointy end is probably sharp. Wow.
The pointy end is very sharp. It is engraved. So we were cleaning out my grandma's house. Their house that they've lived in forever. Mm-hmm. Because sadly, both my grandparents passed away recently.
Sorry, is your grandma one of the Knights Templar? Is this why she owned this?
No, I think my
secret order of assassins.
I think either my grandpa or one of my uncles was a Knight of Columbus, which is a Catholic organization. It's a Catholic organization. I looked this up because I was like, ooh, I don't want this to be like... This sounds like it would be like a Ku Klux Klan thing.
This sounds like a racist thing, yeah.
It sounds like a racist thing. It's only slightly... Well, no, it's not more than... It's kind of very homophobic. But also, because it's Catholic, it's basically all the worst, like, old white men Catholic things of, like, no women are allowed.
Great.
Anti homosexuals. Just very homophobic, and then just other Catholic stuff. But it's also like it's a good sword, and then we found 3 of them. There were 3 swords.
You're gonna have a Watchmen moment where you let someone like take a nap in your bed, and they wake up and they're like, "But if he's such a nice guy, why does he have a Catholic sword in his room?"
Okay, the difference between me and that character in Watchmen is that I display my sword proudly. It is in the corner of my room.
Well. I don't think that's better, buddy. I don't think that's better that you're showing it with pride.
It's not. It's the fact that I have a sword now, more than what is the sword indicative of.
You're like, don't pay attention to the historical significance.
Then again,
just look at my 6 sword.
I do probably have to give a little like, hold on. Let me just explain what the sword is about.
Right.
And then, okay, so I got this sword. My 2 brothers got swords as well. And they're very like my oldest brother got what looked like the oldest sword, which also had the coolest like hilt to it, but also it had like a chain. It was really cool on the hilt. Mm-hmm. That was like a handguard, but it was also old and a little bit rusty. And then mine's is the newest in shininess, but also has the worst hilt. So I don't know what that exactly says. And then my middle brother got the middle.
There you go.
It was a good middle section between of hilts. Yes. So that all worked out. I also got a bust of George Washington, a small metal bust. I can show it to you.
What are you gonna do with a small metal bust of George Washington?
It's really small. It's really tiny.
It's nice looking, but
it is nice looking.
It
goes on my desk.
Are you gonna be?
It goes next to my Gundam,
who is very eccentric and has lots of random household items all around his.
You think I'm already there?
But most of them are like nerdy and can be found at a local comic shop. This one is like, where the fuck did you get a bust of George Washington and why do you have it? I went to President Con.
I took it from my grandma and grandpa's house without asking anybody.
Wait, but question, why did they have it?
Because they're good Americans. Where's your? It was
the question.
Right. Where's your bust?
You know what? In this situation, I'm in the wrong. I need to go get a George Washington bust.
I pray to George Washington every day. I pray to our good Lord and Savior George Washington for making the greatest country on earth. I don't see what the problem is. Hey,
he's a true patriot.
The greatest country on earth in which Segment City resides. Segment City, welcome to the podcast.
Wait, we don't.
My name is Will Kane.
We don't live in Segment Nation. Like, there's no...
Oh, it's not like an island nation unto itself?
I thought we were in sort of international waters. We were sort of like a little, offshore bank account kind of nation.
Maybe it's like a Greek city-state. That would be fun.
Yeah, okay. We've declared independence.
What's our thing? Because there's like Sparta, that was very war. There's Athens, that was very kind of like...
We're Segment City, and our thing is that we're really segmented.
We're really
our
segmented.
population is really like vastly,
like,
they're always
like
fighting
the
each
country,
other.
like the country of America that we are not a part of.
Right.
We're very
Exactly.
segmented right now.
Yeah, we founded ourselves by defining ourselves by our differences.
I'm Will Kane, the new George Washington.
And I'm Theo Sapakos, the new...
And
who am I going to be? Another founding... I'll be the new...
you can take George Washington. I'll be new sword owner, Will Kane.
Who killed George Washington? Because I
It was
want to be
me.
that... No.
Who killed George Washington was the flu.
Okay, well,
and
I'm...
also the doctors.
And I'm
that-
the
that
new
let
flu.
him- Oh no, that's not a good thing. You don't want to be. This is a podcast in which Theo and I come up with segments each week, and we make goofs. We take all different segments from things we want to talk about.
That's right.
What are we going to talk about? I don't know what Theo's segments are, but I know what mine are.
I would hope so.
But my question, our first segment is Will's stupid thought.
All right.
And I didn't come up with this one. The internet apparently did, and my girlfriend decided that it was going to be a question that we explored. And the question is, would you fuck your clone? And before you respond, there's apparently only a set number of responses that you can have. There are checkboxes that the internet has decided on.
I feel like we sort of covered this ground the other time when we talked about if you were to switch bodies with your significant other. Like, would you have sex
It
with
is
yourself?
very similar.
I feel like the answer here is still a hard no. Why would I want to do this? What do I get out of it?
Well, I'll just tell you some of the categories that apparently every single person, this encapsulates the entire spectrum.
Okay, here we go. This
One,
is the Venn diagram.
I don't want to fuck my clone because that would be gay sex and I'm not gay.
Okay.
2, I'm not gay, but I would actually totally fuck my clone.
Okay.
3, I'm gay, but I still don't want to fuck my clone. That's gross and weird.
Okay.
4, I don't want to fuck my clone because my self-loathing is that strong. 5, I totally fuck my clone because I want to know if I'm good in bed.
Okay.
6, I'd fuck my clone because who would know better how to fuck me than me?
Oh God. I think that you maybe just need to figure out communication with your partner.
I think that's also a thing. Okay, and then that was 7. I'd totally do all sort of weird things to my clone. I'd be embarrassed to ask someone else to do. 8, to be honest, fucking my clone has always been my fantasy.
That's a weird one. That's a narcissistic one. That's the one where someone's looking in the mirror all the time. You know,
They masturbate with the mirror. 9, it's basically the same as masturbating, right? So no big deal.
No, wait, hold, put the brakes on there, Buckeye. That's not the same. We're assuming here that like it's basic. I think that assumes that you and your clone have a hive mind and you're just okay with whatever. But I think you and your clone are two different entities here. I think it's not the same.
Are you those like the moment that you get cloned, you diverge you are no longer the same as your clone exactly.
Also,
so
I think that
you're not going to know how to give yourself a hand job.
I think that also if you're banging your clone, one side is getting more out of it than the other.
Oh, I mean, you could. Okay, here's the thing. Okay, we'll just go on. I think we'll just. It's what was it? Number 11. It's not the same as masturbating. It'd be like having sex with your twin. Wrong and bad.
I see. I think that's more to the point.
12. I would not have sex with my clone because what if my clone is evil? This is a good.
That's a good
comment.
One. What if they have evil intent and they lure you into a trap?
They come out with the big mustache and they're like, I'm
Wathio.
I don't know. I don't know if this is a good thing.
They come out and they twirl their mustache and they say, I'm Wah William. and I'm here to pleasure you and in the bed.
And you're like, this is not how
This is
William regular talk. He must be an evil boy.
It is me, William.
Oh, no!
Yeah.
He's evil. He's evil me. And then last, not only would I have sex with my clone, I'd probably make a bunch of clones and just get it on with all of them at once, because that's how you pro-clone fucking fucking I am.
This is what we call a pro-clone fucker move.
Pro-clone fucker move. Okay, so which of those did you most resonate with?
The twins one, I think. I also think that in the future in which this is a possibility, I think calling someone a clone fucker is going to be a sick burn.
Yeah, I think that's fair.
You slimy clone fucker.
You're just a clone fucker, aren't you?
Oh my god.
And people take this and they like put it to the My Hero Academia cast and stuff like that.
Oh, I see. They assign it out to characters.
Yeah, so it's a whole thing.
This is all just in the Tumblr sphere, is it not?
This is yes, that is. It came from my girlfriend, so yes.
Yep.
I think. Okay, let's go with the whole master. Like I would know how to fuck me. I think that's wrong. I think that's completely wrong, and I think that's. I'm
going to tell you right now. I have no idea what I'm doing.
I think it's
as in all facets of life, I would have no idea what I'm doing.
They think that masturbation is the equivalent of having sex with yourself, even though it's a completely different thing. You're not banging yourself. You're using. I think the equivalent would be like my clone would know how to give me a hand job, but also I've never given another person a hand job. It's probably a different thing.
It's a whole different angle.
It feels like a different angle, so I think that's out. Like it's not. I don't think that's an equivalent.
I like to just be like my muscles don't have the quite the same memory for that kind of motion, so I would have no idea what I'm doing.
This is way harder. My arm is extended, and I'm just it's like a shake weight.
You're like, I'm out of breath already. I don't know what's going on.
I can't do this. I think it's. I think I am. It's not the same as masturbating. It'd be like having sex with your twin. Wrong and bad.
Yeah,
that's
I
where
agree.
I'm at.
Wrong and bad.
Then again, I know I can hold a secret, so nobody will ever know. Except we diverge. He might be evil.
He might be.
Okay.
I'm telling everyone now, William.
No, that I had gay sex with myself.
Oh my god. I mean, this is like, if you really wanted to fulfill this fantasy, you could just like print a mask of yourself and put it on someone, right?
Yeah, I guess.
So this is somewhat possible now. I mean, there is some assumed knowledge about them knowing what you like.
Yeah. Yeah. Anyway, you're right, it's very similar to what we did before. But I want to go back to it.
Is a hard yes.
Oh no.
Oh no.
Oh jeez.
Oh no. All right, my segment time. Because
I guess we can go.
Evil Theo, and I cut you off, and I never let you finish your sentences.
Don't do that.
No, you don't get to finish your thought.
Don't do that.
No, you don't get to talk.
Don't do that. Just
talk.
Okay, you can talk now.
Okay. Well.
No, it's my turn.
No. Well, we're never going to get anything done on this podcast. No more segments.
Okay, let's end it now. All right, thank you for listening to this episode of Segment City.
I'm the one who exits the podcast.
Oh, no.
All right. For you, I have two short, amusing in the newses, the plural of news. Hey, I had a Will stupid thought, but it was a Theo stupid thought. If the news is called the news, why don't we call like historical records the olds?
It's called history. There's a different term for that.
Yeah, but someone came up with the idea of like there's new events breaking, and we're not going to come up with a new word for that. It's just going to be called the news.
Yeah, it's just it's a pretty on the nose kind of thing, isn't it?
Yeah, on the news. All right, two in the newses. Okay. First one. The title is Wanted Cow that has evaded U.S. police since January faster than it looks. A cow described as, quote, faster than it looks, unquote, is wanted by U.S. police after avoiding capture for over a month.
Okay, one sec. Every cow is faster than it looks. I think that should be said. Cows are big fat things that we eat because they're
They
big
don't
and
look
fat.
fast at all. they
don't
look
look
like
fast at all.
they are literally a walking meal.
And then they start galloping, and then everyone's like, whoa, whoa, whoa.
The elusive female has been on the loose in South Florida since late January, and local authorities have now issued a wanted poster for her. The tweet says,
People are like, have you seen this cow? And they're like, it looks like a cow. What do you expect?
it's just an old-timey, like, wanted poster with a picture of a cow, be like,
What do you want
wanted,
from
dead
me?"
or alive.
It's just a clip art of some fucking cows. It's like, what? Okay.
Bessie Speed Demon the cow.
I'm imagining the cops going like, it's like patrol officers and they're showing the pictures. Like, have you seen this cow? And then the newspaper goes and it's the cow and it's wearing a trench coat and the hat. And it's like,
Oh, yeah,
And then
I'm,
puts
I'm
the
definitely
newspaper
18.
back up.
I can go into R-rated movies without supervision.
Has the big mustache on.
The poster reads, the tweet that the police department sent out reads, for several months, a loose cow has been wandering the area of Sheridan and I-75. It has evaded capture by both our officers and assisting cow herders since January. If you know the owner of this cow, or if you know its whereabouts, contact the PPPD at this number. Description, female cow, brown with a white head, faster than it looks, talented French drummer, enjoys pools. The
Very
cow,
talented. This is one talented cow.
the cow is not considered dangerous, but has been known to walk the roadway. Drive carefully.
It's not considered dangerous, but does have a knife, so be prepared. It has hooves. It has a gun, but it has hooves. Nobody's really like that worried.
It does.
But we're
It
a
has
little worried.
It has a gun, but it hasn't figured out how to get its hoof in the trigger mechanism, so we're pretty safe for the time being.
I'm imagining this as a movie, and like the one of the renegade cow herders, the mercenaries that are like, I'm gonna get this cow. If it's the last thing, this is the cow I've been waiting for. It's
Then
a
there's-
very elusive.
There's the
It's a
ex-military
very smart
guy.
cow.
Just one
Yeah,
more
exactly.
job and I'm out of the game. This is it.
I'm just gonna get one more cow.
I said I was done with this life.
I'm gonna get this cow if it kills me.
And then another short in the news.
Hmm.
11-year-old Grand Theft Auto fan caught driving real car.
Oh no!
An 11-year-old in Blackpool, England has been caught by local police driving an actual car, all because a family member, quote, was fed up with the child playing Grand Theft Auto all day on the PlayStation, unquote. Excuse me, what? What was your suggestion? What did you want them to be doing instead?
Going out and driving. Learn how to drive. Get a job.
Lancaster police say the boy was driving a Vauxhall Astra around a car park, having been brought there by an unnamed family member for quote-unquote practice. It wasn't like the kid stole... In any case, so it says Lancaster police said the boy was driving his Vauxhall Astra around a car park, having been brought there by an unnamed family member for quote-unquote practice. So it's not like the kid...
Family member is going to be unnamed for like 2 seconds before everyone knows. It's like Uncle John or something.
It's Uncle
Being an
Jerry.
asshole.
It's absolutely
Uncle
Uncle Jerry.
Everybody has an Uncle Jerry, and he's always the same.
I like that the kid, I thought the story was going in the direction of like the kid took the car, like stole the keys from the parents and was driving around. It was like,
Yeah.
no, they were just sick of him playing GTA or like, just go fucking drive a real car, kid.
That's not how it works.
That's not how this works.
Okay. Hold on. This is always what people complain about video games of like, this is the first step, and then you're going to do violence. And now
They're
they're
going to
like,
steal a car. And then
okay,
they're gonna
we're
steal a
giving
gun,
you
and then they're
the
going to rob a bank.
yeah, we're giving you the keys. His parents are like, do the thing.
Do the
We
thing.
want you to run people over.
The
instead
parents,
of play these
the parents
video
were
games.
like, we're afraid you're going to ruin your life playing video games. Here's the keys to actually literally ruining your life. Go have fun.
Yeah. Have fun with this killing people. Like, I don't stupid. It's not this is just another thing of like anyone can become a parent. You don't need a degree. You don't need anything.
You don't need a license.
Anyone can have a kid and then they can let that kid drive around and and play GTA. It's also like you have control. You bought him GTA. Like how did you say how old this kid was?
Did you look at it said 11. Yeah, he was 11.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Yeah,
Yeah,
no.
so You're an idiot. That's M for mature. He's not even teen rated.
If you bought your kid GTA at 11, I don't put you on the best parents of the world award list. You know, so you're not being nominated for a parenty.
I was definitely like, my parents were like, I was playing teen games probably when I was in middle school.
Okay,
so
sure.
yeah, that would be like,
so you were like
his age. I was playing
Yeah.
teenage. Yeah, I was playing teen games. He's playing M for mature games. I didn't get those until I was like 13, 14. Like
That's an interesting question. My first M-rated game was Metal Gear Solid 4.
Really?
Yeah, it was.
For PS3.
Yeah, for PS3. And I was in 9th grade, so I was probably 14 or 15 at that point.
That's
so
a very, like, for
it's
a
a very,
14-year-old,
like,
that's like a very, like, heady game.
Yes, it's extremely, like, thoughtful. But it was, like, weird because, you know, the game was so large that it had to install in sections. And Snake would stand there in the menu and smoke a cigarette.
Smoking.
And on the screen it would say, "Warning, smoking causes lung cancer." And it's like he's standing there like, "Yeah, don't be like me, kids. I'm a fucking scumbag." But you gotta.
It's not cool, but it's very cool.
Yeah, exactly.
Let's watch this cool character smoke.
Yeah, that was it was a very like it was also my first Metal Gear Solid game. I had no idea what the fuck was going on.
Oh, that's that's the worst one to get into. I think I played all the other ones before playing 4. I went through 1, 2, 3, and then I played 4. I love Metal Gear Solid. It's a great series.
It's great. Anyways, that's my in the news section.
In the news. Well, Theo, like a lot of people, I've been on the internet, and also people have been sending me things.
You dumbo.
On the internet.
You can't just be like a lot of people, I've been sitting
on the
web.
Internet. You radical.
I'm tired of the web, bro.
So this is just kind of a bunch of miscellaneous things. Mm-hmm. My girlfriend she'll send me things and she's like, "I read this in your voice," which I'm like, that's a weird thing because I feel like my voice isn't particularly like, I don't know. I'm not like the what's a good voice? The guy who voices Peter's friend in Family Guy, who's in the wheelchair, and he also plays
Joe.
Crunk.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
I forget what the actor's name is, but he's like, Peter.
Yeah.
Peter.
Oh, Goose goes poison.
Goose
poison. Yeah, the poison for Goose go.
Poison for Goose go. So I just wanted to do some dramatic reading, maybe bolster up my voice acting career a little bit. So this is Dramatic Readings with Will Kane. This diary entry from 1877 is indistinguishable from my dating life in 2019. 10th of October, 1877. I am in love. Her name is Drusilla McAvoy. That's the end of the diary entry. 15th of October. 15th of October, 1877, 5 days later. Too hasty by far. The McAvoy woman was not for me. I am planning to kill myself, and if the remainder of these pages are blank, anyone who comes across this diary will know I succeeded.
Here's the modern day translation. What was her name? Drusilla?
Yeah, Drusilla, which is a fucking...
It was like if I sent you a text and I was like, "Hey man, Drusilla, she thick." And then 5 days later I was like, "Yo, Drusilla, she's crazy."
She's whack.
She's whack.
She's the worst. This is from Twitter user Chaddington at Invisichad, which is a great thing. Invisichad.
He's here with me in the room now.
He's in my heart and my soul. So at the store, I probably won't need too many of these store brand goldfish crackers. Day 1 of self-quarantine. My dearest Henrietta, I write to you in a torpor of these dark times. Damnable fool that I am. I have already exhausted my supply of cheese whales.
Cheese whales.
And that's
I love
the end of that.
I don't like goldfish anymore. I only eat cheese whales.
This is from Twitter user Seamus It Ever Was, which is a great name. Just saw this very sweet slice of quarantine life. 2 young lovers in jogging gear in Springfield Park, clearly pretending to be doing their exercise of the day so they could steal a moment together. Not ashamed to say I had a slight catch in my throat as I called the police.
They're just so cute.
They're just
Officer?
so
Yeah.
adorable.
I'm at the corner of Springfield and Hemingway. Yeah, come on down.
Pick him up. Lights off. You don't want to scare him. This is from Tumblr user Fruity. Me. Removes my cat from my lap to do something else. My cat. Father is evil. Father is unyielding. Father is incapable of love. I'm running away. I am packing my little rucksack and I'm going out to explore the world as a lone vagabond. I can no longer thrive in this household.
Poor kitten.
Poor Kiki. This is this is an Amazon review for D20, like a bunch of D20 dice.
Okay.
The title of it is Clicky Clicky Number Rocks.
Number rocks.
Yes, more clicky number rocks. 120 clicky rocks is yes, need more. Always need more number rocks to roll, click. Nice color rocks, nice bag to keep rocks in. When I pour them onto floor, they click very loud, yes. When I roll them, I get lots of ones, but that must mean I am number one. Yes, that's what it means. They are good clicky rocks, yes.
Someone forgot to break out of their D&D character before they went on Amazon to resupply.
To get more. Strikes my wizard staff on the ground and immediately ducks behind a rock. There's a flash of light, and the ritual chamber is covered in spaghetti. I open my grimoire and make a tally under the column I labeled spaghetti. The other column is marked Sumerian Harvest God and is completely blank.
This staff of Sumerian Harvest God is absolutely useless.
This one is accompanied by a very dramatic looking, like super ripped version of Carl from Jimmy Neutron.
Oh my... Excuse me, are you gonna finish that
Croissant, and he's holding a croissant.
Good. Amazing.
So this is my dramatic reading as Carl. In your hubris, you had calculated that you'd always be able to manipulate me, Jimmy. You have miscalculated.
I love it.
This is a picture of like one of the first land animals coming up on land. And it says, "Stop them! You missed your chance, pal. If you see a horrid beast evolving, push it back in."
Get it back in there.
And it's hands and spears trying to push it back in. Okay, these are some Wikipedia articles that Annie sent me, and I'm just gonna read them. It's just like little segments. So this goes with a picture of what looks like a weird fish. The bony-eared ass fish has the smallest known brain-to-body mass ratio of all vertebrates.
Excuse me, you are the ass fish, and you have the smallest brain-to-body ratio. They clearly have not met you.
I'm an ass fish. Bony-eared ass fish is just a stupid idiot.
You
who's big body.
bony-eared ass fish.
The horngus of a dongfish is attached to is attached by a scrungle to a kind of dill sack. Parentheses, the nutsack.
These are not real words. They're just making up terminology.
And it's just like a little fish, and it has a big, like, almost balloon attached to it.
That's the nutsack.
Biology teacher, what are you laughing at? Is my biology class funny to you? Biology class. The rim flap of a bongfish is mated to the bungus of its fuckbone. So the scrot wad is only present on females above the boot sack. See? Snog bag.
No, this is not right.
These are all fake.
Oh, God.
Warrior, I see I will have to... I will have my revenge for the death of my brother. Elf, you have my bow. Dwarf, and my axe. Necromancer, and your brother.
And your brother. I can make him dance. I can make him sing.
He can do a lot of things. And then, do you want one last one that's a little bit longer?
Give me a last.
Give it a last one. Okay, so this is a list of the sexiest wizard spells from Dungeons and Dragons.
Ooh. Expect
Number-
Patronus.
Oh, fuck yeah, dude. All right. I gotta get ready. 1. Obviously counterspell. There's nothing that says big dick energy more than counterspelling the big bad. You have no idea. Every time you successfully counterspell a spell, you should get an inspiration advantage on persuasion and intimidation checks for 24 hours because you're literally the sexiest person alive. Number 2, haste. What's sexy about that, you may ask? Sexy people don't have to do anything. Just slap your barbarian with some malaza, sit back and watch him go like a motherfucking meat train all over your enemies. 3, hold person / hold monster. Your DM hates you. That's it. If you ever need to feel sexy, just wait for that failed save. Casually sit there and read the description of the spell out loud to the rest of your party and your DM, informing them in the most benevolent tone about how they get advantage on every fucking thing against that poor bastard. Unleash hell because they can't do shit to you. Also, your DM hates you. 4. So smug. 4. Fireball. Do I have to explain this one?
Fireball.
8 fucking 6. Kill all your enemies in one turn. Kill all your friends in one turn. Kill yourself in one turn. Who cares? You're fucking sexy. Number 5, Thunderwave. You're Thor. That's it. Your strength is probably 7 or something, but who cares? You've got lightning. You're Thor. You're automatically so fucking sexy. And that's the top 5. Anyway, that's the last of the things I wanted to read from the internet. So let's go on to your segment.
Well, William, thus begins our tour of the worst amusement parks known to mankind.
Oh no, because we can't go out to amusement parks.
To the amusement park tour. This will be a multi-part series. Today we will investigate just one of the terrible amusement parks. Number 1 for today. Well, I shouldn't say number 1 for today. Number 1 on our tour. We're starting in beautiful New Jersey at Action Park.
Yes, I love Action Park. I was hoping you were going to do Action Park.
Action Park. Now, this is a Wikipedia, I guess, historian, but it's an extended one, so settle in. It's there's a lot to this.
I know a decent amount about Action Park. I don't think our audience does. So I'm so excited.
So Action Park was an amusement park and water park located in Vernon, New Jersey, on the grounds of the Vernon Valley Great Gorge Ski Resort. The park consisted primarily of water-based attractions and originally opened to the public in 1978 under ownership of the Great American Recreation.
So basically, 1978 is the Wild West of regulations.
Of regulations and insurance policies. Yes, there's nothing. Action Park featured 3 separate attraction areas, the Alpine Center, Motor World, and Water World. The latter was one of the first modern American water parks. Many of its attractions were unique, attracting thrill seekers from across the New York metropolitan area. Action Park's popularity went hand in hand with a reputation for poorly designed rides, under-trained and underage staff, intoxicated guests and staff, and a consequently poor safety record. At least 6 people were known to have died as a result of mishaps on rides at the park, and it was given the nicknames such as Traction Park, Accident Park, and Class Action Park.
Okay, the last one's very good. Traction Park, not as great.
Accident Park, very on the nose.
Yeah, very on the nose. I think Class Action Park is good.
Little effort was made by state regulators to address these issues, despite the park's history of repeat violations. In its later years, personal injury lawsuits led to its closure, an increasing number of rides, and eventually the entire park closed in 1996. I'd now like to take us through a tour of some of the best of the rides that we have to offer here. Starting with something rather mundane, called the Slingshot. The Slingshot was a bungee cord ride in which 2 riders sat in a seat and were strapped in while the ride was shot up in the air and supported by a bungee cord. Riders looped upside down. There were a few similar rides standing in a handful of major amusement parks, the most common being the Slingshot found at Six Flags parks, but they were upcharge attractions due to insurance issues. At Action Park, the extra fee was only $5. This particular ride was open from 1993 to 1995. A quote from one of the attendants, or one of the former employees said, "We often wondered how many whiplash cases came out of that ride."
I imagine for Action Park, it was just like a lawn chair that they just put bungee cords on. And they're just like,
And
get
they're
him.
like, $5 here, $5.
Sir, are you duct taping me to this chair? That's our safety precautions. I'm sorry.
We use half a roll. We gotta save the other half for the other person. That's your safety protocol.
There you go.
All right, the next is the Alpine Slide. Action Park's 7,200 foot long Alpine Slide descended the mountain beneath one of the area's ski chairlifts, which provided guests access to the top of the slide. Riders sat on a small sled that had only a brake/accelerator control stick and rode down the slide in long chutes built into the slope. The ride, and more specifically the sleds, became notorious for causing injuries. The stick that was supposed to control the sled speed in practice offered just two options on the infrequently maintained vehicles: extremely slow and a speed described by one former employee as death awaits.
That's such a great death awaits. Take the brakes off.
The chutes the sleds traveled in were made of concrete, fiberglass, and asbestos, which led to serious abrasions on riders who took even mild falls. The tendency of the guests to ride in bathing suits made the problem worse. The path,
Jesus Christ.
the path underneath the chairlift resulted in verbal harassment and spitting from passengers going up for their turn.
Fuck you. That's the most New Jersey thing imaginable.
Spitting on the people
at 'em.
below. And they're like, all right,
"Is it raining out?"
I guess I gotta go fast to get out of the spit.
I wonder if they felt it or knew, going at the speed of light, just like, whoa.
Yeah, you might think you got a fly in your eye or something,
Yeah,
but no, it's just a big fat loogie.
Ugh, New Jersey Luger.
New Jersey
worse.
loogie. Hey, you down on this slide, I'm gonna fucking kick your ass when I get down there. You think you're Sonic trying to go fast?
Don't go fast here.
Next ride, Super Go-Karts. The Super Go-Karts allowed guests to drive around a small loop track at a speed of about 20 miles per hour, controlled by the governor devices on the carts. However, park employees knew how to circumvent the governors by wedging tennis balls into them, and they were known to do so for guests. As a result, an otherwise standard small engine cart became an opportunity to play bumper cars at 50 miles an hour.
Oh my God.
As many injuries resulted from head-on collisions. Also, the cart's engines were poorly maintained, and some riders were overcome by gasoline fumes as they drove.
Oh my God. So you're going 50 miles an hour and you're like, what's happening?
People were playing bumper cars on head-on collisions at 50 miles per hour with like something
50?
that would, with no seatbelts and no like nothing.
Yeah, no helmets because it was the 70s, so nobody gave a
70s.
shit.
Next up, we
God damn it.
have the Lola cars. The Lola cars were miniature open cockpit race cars on a longer track. Extra money was charged to drive them, and they too could be adjusted for speed by park employees, with similarly harmful consequences to riders. Former employees have said that after park management briefly set up a microbrewery nearby, employees would break into the brewery, steal the beer, and then take the cars out for a ride on Route 94.
What the? They're just driving these little things after getting drunk?
We're going for the big heist of the microbrewery, and then we're taking them for a ride.
Are you kids driving? No, we're in go-karts. It's fine. That's legal.
It's also not to mention the fact that the park employees were usually teenagers.
Yeah. So they're just teens just getting drunk.
Yep. Next attraction, we have the Battle Action Tanks. Battle Action Tanks is one of the most popular
Wait,
rides.
Hold on. No. What do you take? Where did they get tanks in New Jersey? They're just driving around.
They're like, all right, we're looking for a new
Panzers.
attraction here. What do we got? We could do racing bumper cars. We could do we could do crashing each other into each other with big rig trucks, or
Yeah, but
no,
but
let's
how can
let's go
we-
let's
I
go
want to-
tanks. Let's go tanks.
I want to recreate the Battle of the Bulge, please, and really just get those tanks going.
It's gonna be a thrill ride for all the little kids out there. Come on down to Action Park.
And it's just a drunk guy without a shirt with the tank top.
I am the
burns.
tank operator, and I'm
he's
very safe.
He goes Yahoo, and he
He blows himself up.
blows up everybody else.
Battle Action Tanks was one of the most popular rides in Motor World, and it was featured prominently in television ads. For an additional fee, guests could enter a chain-link fence-enclosed area and operate small tanks for 5 minutes at a time. You ain't going nowhere. The cage match. The
I
tanks,
didn't ask for a cage match.
the tanks were equipped with tennis ball cannons that enabled riders to shoot at a sensor prominently mounted on each tank. If hit, the tank stopped operating for 15 seconds, while other guests often took advantage of the delay to hit the disabled vehicle with more fire. Visitors on the outside could also utilize the less costly cannons mounted on the perimeter fence. When workers had to enter the cage to attend to a stuck or crashed tank, which often happened several times a day, they were commonly pelted with tennis balls, despite prohibitions against such behavior. This gave the ride a reputation for being more dangerous for the employees than the guests, making it one of the least popular places to work in the park. It is unknown if there are any serious injuries from the tank ride.
Oh, get him! He's a live one. The other ones are in cages.
It says on the sign, "Don't shoot me." I'm sorry, I can't read.
I also love that you could just get fucking stun locked in a tank because they would hit your thing, you'd be done for 15 seconds, and then you'd immediately get hit again.
You've got the dad and son combo who are like, "All right, just steer left, Timmy," and they're like, "They're shooting at me! They're all shooting at me!"
Dad, they're killing me.
All right, next up, super speedboats. The super speedboats were set up in a small pond known by park staff to be heavily infested with snakes.
And those are New Jersey snakes. They're even worse.
They were
Get out of my pond.
They could be driven around a small island at 35 to 40 miles per hour.
Jesus.
While, unlike the land vehicles, there was no way to tamper and increase their speed, many riders nonetheless used them to play bumper boats, and seriously inebriated rider had to be rescued by an attendant lifeguard after his boat capsized following a collision.
Oh my God.
Good. This is all good.
Okay, I think this is a simultaneous issue. I know it's going to get worse, but it's a simultaneous issue of the park, and that I guess it's just human nature.
It's on the insurance companies
attendees too.
It's on the workers. It's on the designers of the rides, and it's on the attendees. Everyone is at fault here. There's no one in the right.
I think because the workers are teenagers, so I give them more of a pass than I do the like New Jersey guys. I imagine fucking crashing boats. They're like, "Can you not crash our boats?" And they go,
"I don't know. We got these boats for cheap from the junkyard. So like, I don't know, fucking crash them into each other. I don't know."
You have they don't see any consequences. Probably.
By the way, if you fall out of your boat, you're gonna get eaten by snakes. No big deal. It's Indiana Jones. It's fine. It's nothing.
You're gonna get
no
a lot
big deal.
of snake bites.
Next up, we have the bumper boats. The bumper boats
It was a separate.
It says there was a supposedly safer ride than the super speedboats, but the engines often leaked gasoline, at least once requiring medical attention for a rider who once got too much of it on his skin. Tall riders also often were unable to fit their legs on the small-sized boats, resulting in them hanging off the sides of the boats and being fractured during collisions.
Oh no.
So their legs were hanging off the side of the boats, and then they just ram each other into each other. Their legs are right there. What are you doing?
Yeah, they crunch their legs.
Jesus Christ. All right, next up we have
Get his legs.
Get his legs.
His legs are vulnerable.
Sweep the leg.
This is the New Jersey Mafia just going, "Good, it's our friend. We're just having a fun time of bumper cars. My friend.
Get in the bumper boat. I'm not asking.
Your knees are going to be fine, tall Timmy."
It's fine. He's not going to be able to play the big hockey game tomorrow. We're taking him to Action Park for the bumper boats.
You want to go to Action Park? I love Action Park. Good.
You better.
You better like it.
Next up, we have the Cannonball Loop.
Oh no!
This is one of my favorites.
This is one I've heard about, which is it's bananas if you see a picture of it.
In the mid-1980s, GAR built an enclosed water slide, not unusual for the time. So like it's a slide that is covered on all sides, so it's like dark.
It's a tube, yeah.
Which is not unusual for that time. In fact, the park already had several such slides. This one, however, they decided to build a complete vertical loop at the end, similar to that on a roller coaster. The resulting slide, called the Cannonball Loop, was so intimidating that employees have reported they were offered $100, equivalent to $238 in 2019, to test it. Fergus, who describes himself as one of the idiots who took the offer, said $100 did not buy enough booze to drown out that memory. The slide was opened for only 1 month in the summer of 1985 before it was closed at the order of the state's advisory board on carnival amusements ride safety.
I love that this one was so bad. The state was like, okay, we know about the broken legs. We know about the snake lake. We know
You guys
about
put
all the
a
tanks.
fucking loop-de-loop on a water slide?
But-
Who the hell do you think you are? You can't just
I can't-
change gravity. We're not on
I
the
can't
moon.
imagine. Yes. Okay. So for people trying to, it is like a vertical. It's like a donut. You're
Yeah.
looping like you do on a
roller
roller
coaster.
coaster. Except the thing is, for you to be slicked up on the slide, you don't naturally go down with
No.
bare skin on a plastic surface. You need the water
Yeah,
to
you need
really
the
get
water.
down there. So when you go on the loop, there's no water on the top. That's presumably what you're going on. So you're just rubbing your back on this plastic, and it's just like dry. And like, ugh, it
And
just
if you
skids your fucking back.
And if you don't make it, you fall into a
Yeah.
metal pipe.
You fall, and then knowing probably actually parked, they're probably like, next person. And then another person would come and fucking smash
Next.
into you.
Looks
Next,
like
and then
everyone's
you have to
having a fun
crawl out
time.
into a lake, and then there's a snake biting you and stuff.
It continues. One worker told a local newspaper that there were too many bloody noses and back injuries from the riders,
Jesus
and it was widely
Christ.
rumored and reported by Weird New Jersey that some of the test dummies sent down before it opened had been dismembered and decapitated. A
I
rider.
think it's an oxymoron to call a magazine Weird New Jersey.
It's sort of just stating the obvious.
Let's say the obvious.
A rider also reportedly got stuck at the top of the loop due to insufficient water pressure, and the hatch had to be
Yeah.
installed at the bottom of the slope to allow for
my
future
God.
extractions.
Also a thing of like a big fat guy tries to like rock it down. How is he gonna get? He gets to the top and he goes, "Oh no!" And just in slow motion, just slams,
Jesus.
and then they're like, "We need to evacuate this man."
I sometimes as a kid I was like, there are too many rules. They should just let us go down these water park slides however we want. And then I read this and I was like, oh no, there's a history. There's a reason why these rules exist.
Every single rule has been predicated by
Some
somebody
idiot.
doing something stupid.
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely. Next we have the tidal wave pool.
Oh
The,
no.
the first patron death occurred in 1982. Another visitor drowned in its common water park attraction 5 years later. It was, however, the number of people the lifeguards saved from a similar fate that made this the only the Watertown attraction to gain its own nickname, the Grave Pool.
At least they're on point. They weren't on point in safety. They're on point in these
With the
joke names.
nicknames, these are great.
These nicknames are great.
It was 100 feet by 250 feet and could hold 500 to 1,000 people. Waves were
Wait, what?
generated. That's craziness.
1,000 people?
In one pool, it's wild. Waves were
That's-
generated for
that's
20
so
minutes at a
gross.
time with 10-minute intervals between them and could reach as much as 40 inches or 1 meter in height. It was not always obvious that the pool depth increased as one got closer to the far end, and there were patrons who only remembered or realized that they could not swim when they were in over their heads and the waves were going full blast.
These people are fucking morons. Okay, I have no sympathy for those people who go to the end and they're like, honey, I forgot. I can't swim. Like, what do I do?
I've waited all the way out here, and I've realized that in my 40 years on this planet, I've never bothered to learn how to swim.
That's like going in a plane to skydive and being like, honey, I forgot I'm afraid of heights. Like, I forgot I didn't do the training.
No, it's like getting your parachute on and being like, honey, I realized I forgot I have no arms and can't pull the chute.
I can't do anything to help myself. Why would you go into the wave pool when you know this could kill you?
It looks like fun.
Okay, also, a meter is literally 3 feet of that's
Of
tall.
solid.
That's
yeah, but
so
if your head is
fucking-
at water level, that's craziness.
yes, you're like I could absolutely see people drowning. That's literally half my height.
So it says, even those who could swim sometimes exhausted themselves, causing patrons to crowd the side ladders as the wave began, leading to many accidents. 12 lifeguards were on duty on all times, and on high traffic weekends, they were known to rescue as many 30 people, compared to the other
God.
compared to the 1 or 2 the average lifeguard might make during a typical season at a pool or lake. I mean, if you're looking for a high action lifeguard job, you got to get at Action Park.
Wait, so it was 30? Did they say a day?
in a weekend. So like
In a
15
weekend? That's still 3 days.
yeah.
That's
Crazy.
insane.
That's insane. Yeah, it's
That's
insanity.
like that's a factor of like just like 500% compared to
Yeah.
a normal. That's how terrible. And nobody was like, everyone's like, yeah, just dive in. Just these young teenagers just drinking, just fucking,
Just like, yeah, I
just
don't know.
gripping it and ripping it, and just like
I'm turning on the waves, brother.
turn it full blast. Put the tennis ball on the thing; it'll make the waves go higher.
All right, one last ride. Here we go. Last up is the Aqua Scoot. Invented by Ken Bailey in the early 1980s, riders would carry a hard, solid plastic sled up to the top of the ride, go down a slide consisting of rollers akin to those found in factories, warehouses, or assembly lines, and end up in a pool that was, in most areas, was no deeper than a puddle. The idea of the ride was to once the sled hit the water, skip across the water like a stone.
No,
You can tell that this is going in bad directions.
There's a lot
already.
of user error there. I can imagine.
In order to do this, the rider had to be in a certain position, leaned back. If the rider was not in this position, the sled would sink into the water as soon as it hit the pool, flinging the rider off the sled head first, which often resulted in head injuries. Other times, riders would be leaving the pool only to have others crash into them as they were riding.
So it's like sledding down a hill, except there's like a cement path at the end of it, like when you're going down a snowy path, except there's cement and you just lurch and you just fucking like head first go over.
You don't even you're not even given
tough.
like a moment to like collect yourself and be like, I can't believe I fucking survived that. And
then
right
you
as
get run over.
you just get slammed into.
I have gone sledding as an adult, and the most terrifying thing, because kids go sledding too on the same hills and so like I remember me and my girlfriend went sledding, and they're just kids, and we're heading right for them, and I was just yelling, "Make way!" And they were like looking like, "What?" Because that was not the right thing. Just they're gonna be like, "Oh, make way!" I should have been like, "Move
the fuck out of the way!"
But I was like, "Make way for us!" And so I decided, in my stupidity, I'm like, I need to slow this down, but I didn't have my hands available. Because they're gripping. I had to grip onto it. So I decided to just lean my back in bed, the back of my head, and just like slow us down. I'm like, I have to stop so we don't hit this kid.
You fucking idiot. You're like, I only have one option. Use my head as an anchor.
It's like in a movie when the character like looks at their loved one and is just like, I have to make the big sacrifice. Except it was me on a sled just going, and I'm like, I have to do this, and I go.
All right, I have a little wrap up, and then we'll finish this. So, the vast majority of workers at Action Park, at least the ones who are regularly seen by visitors, were teenagers. Jim Desai, a security director at the park, says he got that job at the age of 21 after having worked at the park for 2 years. He got the security director job at age 21.
He's not even like they saw him and they're like, that's management material, and he's ripping a bong right at the pool.
His experience was not uncommon. Most were underaged, undertrained, and often under the influence of alcohol, and cared little for enforcing park rules and safety requirements. Height and waist-based restrictions were often ignored. Action Park's most successful years were in the early and mid 1980s. Most rides were still operating, and the park's dangerous reputation had not yet developed. In 1982, two guests died at the park within a week of each other, leading to the permanent closure of one ride. Despite this, people continued to come in massive numbers. The park's fortune began to turn with the deaths in the summer of 1984 and the legal and financial problems that stemmed from the ensuing lawsuits. The state investigation of misconduct in the leasing of the state land into Action Park led to a 110-count grand jury indictment against the 9 related companies that ran the park and their executive for operating an unauthorized insurance company. So not only were they running this part, they were running an unauthorized insurance company on top of all of this.
For their own insurance?
For their own park.
That's why their insurance rate right through the fucking roof.
Oh, Jesus. They're like, yeah, we can afford to run this. The insurance company's given us a great deal. Like, yeah, no shit.
Yeah, you're paying yourself to keep it open. Like, your premiums aren't going up.
So last paragraph. The park entertained over 1 million visitors per year during the 1980s, with as many as 12,000 coming on some of the busiest weekends. Park officials said this made the injury and death rate statistically insignificant. Excuse me. What? Even one life is too many, Mr. Amusement Park organizer.
We killed a few people, I guess. Whatever.
If you look at the numbers, we've killed basically no one.
I've killed a lot of people where like they're buried underneath the wave pool. Don't worry about it.
Fine. Nevertheless, the director of the emergency room at the nearby hospital said they treated from 5 to 10 victims of park accidents on some of the busiest days, and the park eventually bought the township of Vernon extra ambulances to keep up with the volume.
The fact that they're like, let's not fix our fucking rides.
It's insignificant. Don't pay attention to the extra ambulances. They're insignificant. Just keep coming to the park. We got tanks. We got boats with snakes.
What people don't know is that the ambulances are actually the same contraptions as the tank. So if you shoot it with a tennis ball in the right place, it'll stop for 15 seconds in the middle of the road.
You know, in the intro to our podcast where you say you offer the fireworks to the kids and it's a joke?
Yeah.
That character is the person who actually ran Action Park with full seriousness.
They made that movie with Johnny Knoxville about it.
Jesus.
That was like based off of it.
It's wild.
It's like a terrible. A few things that I think I remember hearing. One, I think they sold beer at the park.
Yeah, there were stands that you could buy alcohol. Yeah, you could buy alcohol at the park. Yep, absolutely.
And so it was just drunk teens looking after you. And then I think there was like a 20-something-year-old guy who died because there was an exposed wire in one of the pools or whatever.
There was in one of the pools, and he got too close to it and electrocuted himself and died. Yeah.
That one's the most crazy because I'm like, that's the most like chance.
Yeah.
As opposed to the other ones where it's like, I can't swim and I went to the wave pool. Like, okay, you're done.
I slammed into another guy at 50 miles per hour and got serious brain damage. That's not my fault.
Or when like the teen looking after you while you're trying to do go-karts just looks at you and goes, you want to see some shit?
You want to go get it faster?
You want to burn some rubber right now? And then you're just like, I guess. And then they're like, hold on to your ass, and you just go.
Jesus.
And he's just drunk. Anyway, Action Park. I love the story of Action Park.
That concludes our first episode of the worst amusement parks. There are a lot of them, it turns out. So this will be a multi-part installation. This was our little intro to this series, though. Stay tuned for more.
Have you ever seen the YouTube channel that's what's it called? I think I have it up somewhere, but it's basically a guy that goes over Defunct Land. That's what it's called. And it's basically a guy who goes over like failed amusement park attractions and things. And I think he did a thing about Action Park. But anyway, I love Action Park. It's so fucking crazy.
It's so good.
It could only happen during like late 70s, early 80s. That was the end of like that kind of stuff. Like it got in right.
This is the kind of stuff that made that era end, though.
Yeah, because it was people just going hog wild.
Yeah.
I think we are probably at time now. Look at that. Time flies.
Time flies here in Action Park in downtown Segment City.
I'm just going to leave you with one last dramatic reading, I guess.
Okay. Play me out, Willie.
I extend my hand like a mob boss and allow you to kiss my ring. But when you lean closer, you see it's one of those glow-in-the-dark spider rings you win at arcades.
Pretends to kiss it, but I eat the spider very discreetly. But you notice anyway, because my mouth is glowing from the inside. Godfather voice.
You disrespect me and eat my spooky spider ring, which cost me 50 tickets at Funtime Arcade and Pizzeria. Vinny, hit her with the sticky hand.
Classic Vinny.
Classic Vinny and classic us. Another episode down of Segment City. Thank you, everybody, for listening to Segment City. If you enjoyed the podcast, leave us a rating on iTunes or whatever podcast network of choice that you listen to us on. Send us an email at segmentcitypodcast@gmail.com.
There you go.
Hit up our Twitter at Segment City. Go to our YouTube channel, Segment City. Give us a review. I already said that. And give me a review on what you think of my voices. Tell your friends about us because we love getting new listeners. Who should we thank, Theo?
We should thank, I guess we'll thank Rachel Robeson this week. She deserves it. She does good work. She did good work this week. She did the intro music for our podcast. She's got a podcast of her own called Create Loud. You can check it out wherever you get podcasts around the globe. I don't know.
I love that you phrase that like we have a new person each week.
We do. We think a new person
each of the week.
You know, that's my hardest job here on the podcast is coming up with a new person to thank every week.
Yeah, I mean, yep. I do the editing. I do all the other
I just got to figure out who we got to thank.
You got to thank Rachel Robinson, but she's great. So, and you're all great for listening to us. So thank you. And now I'm going to go actually to Action Park. I heard it was opening back up, so I'm going to go. I heard it's not that dangerous.
I spit on you from the ski lift, stupid American.
I hit you with my sticky.
Yeah, imagine trying to drift with that sticky hand. You just around your cart. You're like, you stick it to a corner and you go around it.
You whip around.
You whip around it.
Don't give them any ideas. They're gonna do it. They'll do it.
Oh,
they'll fucking do it. Don't give them any ideas.
I already did. All right,
Damn it.
Bye. Take that to the bank, Action Park. Bye.
Bye bye.